Hello, everyone. How's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's do a complete beginner's guide to Soulash 2, shall we? This game is in early access, and yet there's a surprising amount that you can do in the game. It's got a lot of depth, a lot of complexity. I've been playing it on stream a bit. I played it for the Turn-Based Thursday Fest, and I have to say it is a fantastic game. But there's a lot of things that I didn't understand at first, and what I want to do in this guide is start up a brand new game and explain everything about the controls, the UI, tips and tricks, how to survive, how to win combat, how to do quests, everything that I've learned and everything that I've been taught by excellent viewers on stream and in the YouTube comments, so that you can get a nice picture of, is this the kind of game that you might be interested in? And if you've already purchased the game on Steam, and I'll put links to the game in the description below on Steam, then you can understand how to survive and be successful at the beginning portion of the game. Of course, things are subject to change as the game continues to develop, but right now, here in April of 2024, we're going to dive in and do a guide by starting new. In the upper left, we're just going to click to Adventure. And if you already have a world created, which I do, I'm going to click this plus button to create another world. If you don't, you'll just create a world. And you'll see that it's going to generate a seed for your world over here. And you can change the seed in the middle left of the screen. You see where it says seed. And you could change the world size and the amount of civilizations. I'm going to randomize the world one more time. I like this. This looks kind of cool. It's got like these two land masses, and perhaps we can get between them in some way. And this is just fine. So I'm going to call this world tutorial, and we're going to save it. Now it's going to, just like Dwarf Fortress, it's going to build about 50 years of history and just kind of generate the towns and procedurally build up the world. It's different each world that you play. So, yours, unless you use the same seed and everything, will be different, but everything I explain won't matter. You can see the caravans moving around, people settling, etc. Now, we here are in tutorial, and we could start up a new game, or if you want, you can progress the history more than by another 50 years, or you can, go 500 years if you want. And the aspects of the game will change if you go further into the future when you choose to start. From what I understand, certain skill training isn't available until later. For example, I believe pyromancy, maybe not. I'm not sure exactly, because I've never actually gone that route myself. I've always just created at the original generation of 50 years and just click continue. But if you want to try and see what happens beyond that, go for it. I'm just going to click continue. Now, you get to the difficulty screen at this point, and it gives you three options, like, what are you looking to do? The left option is high fantasy, which means, you can do what you want, and you drop all items from your backpack and respawn in your home settlement after death. Your character doesn't age. Your character can't die from starvation or dehydration. It's a lot slower. Skills require 200% more effort to advance. And scoring is disabled. So this is kind of like you just want to play in this sandbox roguelike RPG without fear of death. I'm going to be doing dark fantasy because it's the roguelike version of the game. High fantasy would just be like RPG, sandbox RPG, and see what's available in the game. And do whichever you like, but for this tutorial, I've been doing dark fantasy. I died with my first character, and my second character is surviving a bit longer as I've learned more in the game. And this is what we're going to do. So, you get the high-stakes combat of traditional roguelikes, and your existence can change the world in a meaningful way. You have permanent character death. You can continue in the same world with a new character, which is kind of cool, like Project Zomboid or something. There's no penalty to skill gain, so you get them at the regular rate, and you can begin as part of an existing family, which we'll see in a moment. So you could also do hardcore, which means it's hard, And if you die, then the world dies with you and you don't get to carry anything over. So we're just going to do the middle, dark fantasy. And then you're going to get to the character creation screen, and you can choose whatever you like. You get to choose your gender, you get to choose your name, you get to choose your race, and you get to choose aspects of your appearance in these selectors down here. So we can be a human, a dwarf, a Racimi, an elf, a reptilian, an Ursan, a mushman, or a bone wraith. So I've done both human and dwarf, and I think it might be fun to experiment with something else. So why don't we make a bear? An Ursan is a bear, sentient bear person that lives around 70 years, which is about the same as humans. Humans are more generalized. You could see when you mouse over any of these races, you'll get a tooltip description. There's some flavor text, and then there is just pure description of the benefits that they get. So humans live around 70 years and all stats +1 when they start. Dwarves live around 200 years. They get 2 endurance, 2 willpower, and infravision, which is just so awesome. Infravision allows you to see in darkness, and you have half vision in daylight. So it's in daylight, you're not as good as people who can see in the day, but you don't need a torch in darkness. So I like that. And dwarves are just really stout. You could be a cat person if you want. You also get infravision, elves, lizard person, the bone wraith, the mushroom person, or the bear. So if we want to be a bear, first of all, we get a monocle, which is awesome. And, we could call this tutorial bear. And you can customize down here on the left different settings, so you could change like what your ears look like. For example, you could have like a hole in an ear. That looks pretty good. And you could change what your clothes look like. You give yourself a different outfit. Oh, this is like a regal bear. Ooh, look at this. Like the fur collar. Nice. Okay. And you could change the background, a picture. I actually like that mountain. It looks great. I look like an aviator bear. That's distinguished with that monocle. The red eyes are terrifying, so you could go for more like, peaceful looking eyes. Yeah, I think I'll go for just like not Terminator style red glowing eyes. This looks pretty good. You could change your fur color too. We could be like a grizzly brown bear, gray, very, very dark. I like the idea of being this almost like, senior polar bear kind of look. Okay, so we're going to go with this bear right here. And now it's time in the middle column to choose your skills. Now, some of the great things about Soulash 2 are just the ease at which you can mouse over anything and get a good description. And then when you see this little question mark, this helps you understand just some more information about that category. And it says characters in Soulash 2 are shaped by the skills they use. Each has a maximum potential that will allow you to master up to 4 skills or mix and combine them without full mastery. If this is your first playthrough, it's recommended to pick adventuring skill with a knife and at least 1 weapon or magic combat ability to deal with dangers while exploring the world. And we will do that. So skills kind of work differently than many games. It's almost like Skyrim. You get them by using them. And when you mouse over the skill like adventuring, it tells you how you train it. So adventuring is trained by crafting, discovering things on the map, or discovering resources. And it's incredibly important because it allows you to craft just basic equipment and things that is very, very useful. So we're going to definitely take adventuring. And then now you can see it says choose skills 1 of 3. So we've already chosen 1. Now I recommend choosing a weapon. So I've done axe before, but what if we make our guy like good with a polearm? Or, you know what? I do love polearms, but I'm going to go a more defensive build because this is our first character, and I'm going to go swords, and I'm going to go protection, which allows you to parry with a shield. So what this means is we've chosen 3 skills. We've chosen adventuring, and we've chosen protection and sword fighting. But check out how many skills there are. You can get thievery. You can get leadership, which allows you to have companions. You can get construction and carpentry, which lets you build things. You can get agriculture, so you can farm and stuff. I mean, it's a really, really deep game. And whenever you select skills, over here on the right, it's going to give you choices for your starting gear based on the skills that you've chosen. So we've got a weapon, we've got a defensive skill, and we've got like a utility adventuring skill. So I'm going to select a knife. And now if you mouse over the knife, the reason you want the knife is because when you mouse over the knife on the tooltip, it tells you it's a weapon. In yellow, you see the text here. But the flavor text, simple knife for cutting meat, that's the key. We're not going to use this as a weapon, but rather this is going to be what we use to butcher animals and scavenge for meat that we can eat, as well as fur and things. So this is important because, like many roguelikes, you have to eat in this game, and you need to have food. So this is a great way to get food, is by skinning, animals or things that we fight. And because we're a bear, hey, we can eat pretty much anything. Probably not other bears, that's, perverse, but pretty much anything else. Dwarf, elf, whatever, it's sandwich time. So we can use this to do that, and we'll take that. The pickaxe is good if you want to go mine. And so you see how, with the pickaxe, it's a mining implement, but you can also attack with it. But in the bottom left of the tooltip in green, it says miner, which it means it affects the skill of mining at 100%. So you can do mining at 100%. Now, mining, I don't believe, is one of the skills over here that's a starting skill. It's an action in the game. And the same thing for knife, where it's cutter. Like, if you're doing a certain interaction, it has a skill that governs it, like wood cutting or whatever, and we'll look at that in a minute. But knife, you could see in the bottom right, it has cutter, which is like butchering. You could see it's a item, weapon, it's a dagger, and it's one-handed. It has 10% plus to hit, has 0% parry, it has a range of 1, attack speed of 0.8, whereas 1.0 is like a full regular standard turn, I believe. Tells you how much physical damage it does. And then in the bottom left, that little weight symbol means how much it weighs. And in the bottom right, the coin tells you the value that you can potentially get by selling it. So I'm going to take the knife. It's selected. Now we could choose a water skin or leather boots. Boots are great, so you can have something on your feet, a little bit of armor. They don't provide physical resist, but they do help you resist fire, frost, and nature. And you can see everything is just written right there nicely, transparently on the tooltip, and it's color-coded for you. But instead of having boots, I want a water skin because it can hold water. And we need to drink. You need to eat and drink in this game. So this is a leather bag that can hold water, blood, or other liquid, whatever you need. But we're going to primarily use this for water in the beginning. And you can see it has a capacity of 150. It says liquid container 0 out of 150. It doesn't start, at least right now, it doesn't have any water in it, but that's what we want. And then now we could choose between a wooden shield or a leather shield. So if you look, the wooden shield is easily breakable, is what it warns you about, but it allows you to protect against some weapons. It has resist physical 2, resist nature 2, resist acid 1, and parry of 20% and a weight of 1. Whereas the leather shield is resist physical 2, resist frost 2, parry the same, and it's lighter. So, it's up to you which you want here. I personally took the wooden shield last time just because it had more versatility with nature and acid. But resisting frost is also nice too. So I'm going to take the wooden shield again. And then we start with a short sword, which you can see right here. That it's got an attack speed of 1, hit and parry 10%, 2 to 3 physical damage. Great. And so we're going to click continue. So now you get this screen where you need to choose your settlement, which is like your starting area or town. And then these are bear towns. and you could see them on the map. Like the different settlement types have different graphics representing who lives there. So like this is the Bear Town icon, whereas I believe these are elves, and then these are humans. So when you are on this screen, you choose your settlement, and as you click it, it'll focus the map on that area. So I like, this area is actually good. It's right on the road here, and we can get to some other settlements nearby. You can see we're up in the cold area. And in the upper right, it tells you about this area. So it says, our Vanner town has Ursan population of 97. It's part of the Drugic state. The settlement is led by Nilfor of fabulous determination, and it's best known for producing meat and copper ore. So, I want meat. Copper ore sounds good to me. And then you get to choose your family. Now, in the bottom left, it says all these different family choices. Now, you mouse over this. If you are a member of a family, you get beneficial prices when trading with family members and access to resources and items in and around family buildings. So I actually like being part of a family because you get those bonuses. So you can just click on the different families here and see who's in that family. Now, we know Fabulous Determination is the leader of the village, or the settlement is Nilfor. So we could be in that family if we want to be part of the ruling group. And it tells you who the leader is, the members, and you can mouse over them and see this is Chara, for example, and who's in there. And then you can also see what buildings they own. So they have they have a farm, they have a carpenter, and they have a hunter's den. But some of these other families are also quite large too. They have a smelter and a den and a bearberry farm. A smelter could be very good as a family building because we could go there and maybe get some ore and smelt some bars to craft some equipment early on. Extraordinary Devotion is a mine and a carpenter. This is actually really good. They also have a hunter's den, so we can get the ore from them. The smelter is where you smelt it. And then tool makers, you just kind of click through and see who you like. I'm going to try the miners. Where are you? Miners. Here. So this is the leader, Jowd. We have Extraordinary Devotion. So I'm just going to pick this settlement and this family and click Continue. And now it's going to generate the world. And we're in. So first things first, let's just talk about the UI, what we see. In the upper left, you can see my portrait. I'm an amazing looking bear with a monocle. Fantastic. You see my health in red, my stamina in yellow, and my satiety in green, and my thirst in blue. You can mouse over any of these to get more information. Like, for example, here's health, and if it drops to 0, you die. This is stamina. Stamina is like the energy you need for everything. Walking, running, fighting, everything. And you can push R to kind of like briefly rest and get it back. But as you say, there's fatigue that builds up, which you can refill your stamina, but then the top end of it will start to gradually get consumed by fatigue that you can only get by doing a full rest to get your max level of stamina back. And it tells you hunger and thirst. Now, a cool thing about the game is that you automatically eat and drink. So your character will just do that for you, provided you have it in your inventory. And how do I know if I have it? Well, to the right of my hunger bar, you see that I have 120 food. That little drumstick with the number 120, that means how much food I have. I actually have no water right now, so we're going to immediately go get water from the well in the town center. Pretty much every town center has a water source of some kind, and you can fill up any water container you have there. So that explains the upper left. It also tells you that this is my name, and this is my family, and I'm 16 bear years old. Underneath my portrait, you're going to see that I have this little butterfly icon. It says you're considered to be an adult, you're a dreamer full of hope and ambition, and you're certain there's so much more in store for you. Now down here, you'll also see buffs and debuffs appear in the upper left by your character portrait when those occur. In the upper right, there is a mini-map which displays, well, of course, the mini-map. You can see all the roads, the buildings, the things I can interact with, the people on this map. And then also you can click this button with the signpost to just have your character auto walk to the exit or the edge of the map so you can go to a different region. The way that this game works is it's kind of made up of different loading screens for each region or place of interest that you go, and you get to the edge of it, you'll see arrows surrounding it, meaning like you can leave here and go to another region. So this is a great way to just leave where you're at. In the upper right, too, it also tells me what Z level I'm at. I'm at Z level 0, which means just ground level. But often, in some settlements, like Elven Tree cities, you'll have to go up Z levels to explore. Or in Dwarven mountain homes, you're going down inside, so you're going negative Z levels, etc. It helps you navigate where you're at in terms of depth and elevation. And then underneath my minimap, you'll see that it says I have 6 unspent statistic points. If I click on this, it'll take me to this screen here, which is kind of like my character breakdown. I have my statistics here. I have my character's paper doll with my equipped items. And then I have my backpack with my inventory. So let's talk about this. When you start the game, you get stat points to distribute. You could spend them on whatever you want. And remember, we have our stats are inflated by, the fact that we are a bear or whatever, but we are going to modify some of them. But how do we know what to modify? The little blue tier looking thing is the available points. So whenever you see this is a skill point. That's what the icon is. And here's all of your stats: strength, dexterity, endurance, intelligence, willpower. If you mouse over strength, it tells you what it does, which is so great. It says improves weapon damage by 1 for every 2 points for axe, sword, mace, unarmed, improvised, natural, and thrown weapons. So we have a sword, so we want to pump strength if we're going to fight in melee, which we are. It improves your chance to parry and hit, depending on weapon type. It increases your available carry weight, which is awesome. And it reduces the time required for certain actions like mining, woodcutting, harvesting, threshing, and digging. And it reduces the stamina cost of actions like dragging and climbing. By the way, you can mouse over all of these to figure out what they do. So Dex says weapon damage for daggers, polearms, bows, and crossbows. Chance to hit depending on the weapon. Increase sneaking if you want to be stealthy. And reduces time to scavenge corpses. Endurance is very nice for physical resistance and helps you with fatigue. You reduce fatigue gain when resting, which is the brown part of your stamina bar like we talked about. Increase your maximum health by 5 per point. Reduce stamina cost of making a base attack, movement, and actions like mining, woodcutting, harvesting, threshing, and digging. And determines bonus health regeneration during a long sleep and rest until healed actions. Intelligence is all about magic power, but also sight range. You can see it also helps with purchase price of goods, so it's kind of like charisma in that way, and increase the chance to recover resources when you're salvaging, and it reduces crafting speed. And then willpower is non-physical resistance, magic and elemental stuff, just any damage type that's not physical. Increase fatigue reduction during sleep, increase amount of stamina regained through rest actions, and increase health regeneration per tick and your hearing. So I'm going to focus on strength and endurance with this character. So we'll go up, spend 2 here, spend 2 here, and I'm going to spend the rest on strength. So I'm going to then commit these changes. So once you've applied them, you have to click the check mark down at the bottom. And then you can see in the bottom right, it tells you your carry weight. My carry weight was 22, and it went all the way up to 30 as I boosted my strength from 10 to 14. So that's phenomenal. And this just tells you kind of like what your estimated damage is, your attack speed, all sorts of great information, your movement speed, and then each segment of your body and its current resistances based on what you have equipped. Now, I have nothing equipped. I am in my birthday bear suit, except I have a sword and a shield. So that's nice, but we need some equipment. And you can see in the middle, this is my paper doll. You have all of these different slots which you can fill in, like your backpack, your cloak, your armor, your rings, your bracelets, your greaves, your shoes, all of that stuff that we want to find. You also have a secondary weapon slot that you can turn on by clicking this, and you can see it will dynamically update my damage based on the fact that I switched over there. And then here on the right is our backpack. and we have basically just our water skin, our knife, and we start with a little bit of food. We get some bread, which is why we have 120 on the other screen. You could see when I mouse over the bread, it says food, and it says food 40. And it's crafted with 3 wheat flour, so it's telling you how to make this if you want. And because I have 3 of these, it adds up to 120, which is my food. Now, my water skin is currently empty. Let's go remedy that. By the way, while we're here on this screen, which you can just push, you can push V to get to your skills, C to get to the crafting screen, I to get to the screen that we were at, and then this is M for the world map, and then this is J is the tutorial guide. And I'm just going to go back to this, and then there is over here the knowledge screen, and this is, let's kind of work left to right actually. Okay, so this is the world map. So this is where we are, and depending on your tile set, you can change your resolution, your tile set if this is too small for you. But you can zoom in on this with the mouse wheel or with the plus or minus buttons. And then you can click this button, I click it all the time, to just zoom in on where I'm at. And in Soulash 2, the characters are represented by a circular portrait. So they look like, everybody looks like this. I mean, they don't look like a bear with a monocle, but, you know, it's just their face on a circle. And this is where I am on the overworld. I'm right here in this settlement. And I can move around the map just using WASD. I can zoom way out. I can look around. I could click on whatever I want and get information about that area. So, for example, the other settlement over here, Dykavik town, I can see, you know, how many people are there, what their wealth level is, how strong their military is, what buildings they have that I can go see, and what resources they've got if I'm interested. So the world map is incredibly useful for getting around. We'll look at it in a moment. Then if I go back here, this is the tab I was on when we spent our attribute points. Moving to the right is the skill panel. This is where you can see all of your different skills that you have. So for example, if I scroll down, you'll notice that sword fighting is at 5 out of 20. And you need to click on a skill, and it tells you the different milestones of raising that skill and what you can get. So we could take and master sword fighting, take it all the way up to level 20, and every time we raise sword fighting, we get something on this milestone chart as we fill it in. So you can see we already have this ability called Slash. We got an ability point. We got this ability amplifier, and then 2 more ability points. So these are where our ability points were coming from our skills. And then if we raise up sword fighting again, we're going to get this Bushido ability, which is a sword fighting technique that we can use, and we'll talk about that as we unlock it. But this is super important for understanding what you will get and when, so you can plan what skills you want to raise and what you want to focus on based on your build. And I could choose protection and look over here and see that we got shield wall and shield slam as active abilities with our milestones, and then we got 3 more points here. Now, if I go all the way up to the top, adventuring, we started with this, so when you pick a skill, you get 5 points in it, and we didn't get any ability points, but we can make a campfire, we can craft a quarterstaff, make a torch, we can ask innkeepers and hunters to discover points of interest, which is really, really helpful, and we can also make copper ingots because we know how. So you could see if we get 1 more level in adventuring, we will learn how to make a water skin, for example. So adventuring is really a fantastic skill tree. And then this is where we can come to see, you know, look at other skills and just plan out future characters. Or if we want to start going into armor smithing, we can train and get training in these skills from skill trainers in towns by spending money if we wish. Now, you'll also notice that on the left, you could see all of the unlocked passives that we have, which is the points of interest from adventuring, our unlocked actions that are not combat actions. Generally, those are called abilities. So these are our unlocked abilities. We've got Slash, Shield Slam, and Shield Wall. And whenever you unlock ability for combat, generally it puts it automatically down here into your quick bar. So this is our kind of action bar, and we can use the number keys 1 through 10 on the keyboard here to activate these. And you can change them at any time. You can right-click to clear it, and then if you want to put it back there, you need to drag it from this screen. You just put it back on there if you want it. Now, this is something... There's so many things that I didn't understand at first when I played, and if you just read through the journal, you will get most of this information, but I'm a person who sometimes can be too impatient for that, and I just want to play. And so I was just playing it using traditional roguelike sensibilities and knowledge, and I completely missed the fact that leveling up adventuring, for example, gives me these milestones. And this bar right here, as I fill it up, will tell me my progress towards the next milestone. And you can see that, again, you mouse over, how you train it, what your progress is, and how many experience it takes to get there. Now, also, something I missed was these ability amplifiers. What do these do? So if I click on Slash, for example, now you can't click on your action bar, you have to click up here, you'll see that the ability Slash goes here, and it has these red and green boxes by it. And this is where you can drag one of your ability amplifiers that you've learned in here to modify that ability. So let's just take some time to look at an ability for combat. Slash says that it slashes an enemy dealing 11 to 18 physical damage. Fantastic. It is sword fighting. I target a being, so something, an enemy. It takes 4 stamina to use it. It has a range of 1. Its casting time is based on my weapon speed. It has a cooldown of 3.0, 3 turns. And it has a red and a green ability amplifier, and it requires a sword to use it, and it scales at 100% of your main weapon damage. So, as I'm looking at this, do I want to put any of my amplifiers down here? The only amplifier I have here is bleed per damage 20%. So, something, I don't want to say tricky about this game, but when you have offensive abilities that apply to the target, you want them to be negative effects. So this means I believe they have a 20% chance to bleed per damage dealt, or they bleed 20% of the damage I deal. Either way, this is something I want to happen whenever I use Slash, and we can do science to see what it is. Remember, I've never taken sword before, so I actually don't know how this plays out, so we're going to find out. So what you want to do is drag this and drop it down here and slot it. And so now, if I mouse over this Slash, it says ability amplifiers open wound is here. It's been slotted in. You can double dip. So if I had another red slot available, I could use this again on however many I wanted. But you have to be careful of who the skill is targeting. So Shield Slam, it says it targets the enemy's health, so it's targeting the enemy, but Shield Wall says it targets me. So I only want to put in an ability amplifier that's a positive effect because I'm targeting me. And you don't want to put positive effects on abilities that target the enemy because I don't know if that actually even work, but you don't want to boost the enemy. You only want to do negative things to the enemy. So as we get more of these, it'll make sense. But the idea is if it targets the enemy, you want it to be a negative effect. And if it targets you, your ability, you want it to be a positive effect. So for example, in protection, you'll see that if I get up here at milestone 6, I'm going to get this ability amplifier that gives me parry chance +1, and it's blue, meaning I can put this right here so that every time I do shield wall, I have a chance to parry more often, which is phenomenal. So then if I go over here to the crafting panel, which I can get to from the tabs or push the C key, it shows me what I know how to make, and I could sort this by shields, ammo, jewelry, clothing, whatever, or just, go over here to weapons, or just filter nothing and show you everything I can make. And these are based on blueprints that I've learned or milestones that I've unlocked with adventuring, and this is what I know how to make. And if you mouse over it, it tells you what you need and where you need to be. So, for example, I can't make a copper ingot in the field. I need to be by a smelter to do that. But I can make a torch. All I need for this is firewood ×1. and I can make a quarterstaff with some wood. So, fantastic. Now, it shows you what crafting resources I have available. All I have right now is my water skin and bread, so that's not going to be very effective, but c'est la vie. And then over here, the knowledge screen, this shows you all the people you know and the people that you've met. And you can favorite them to keep them on the top of your list. You can click on them, and then you get this huge window here to learn more information about who they are, who their siblings are, where they're located, their X and Y coordinates, anything else you want to know about them. And this expands as you meet new people. Right now, I know everybody from my family. So that's already populated in here. And you can also click known locations. And you can see, okay, I know this town of Andor, for example, Andor Village, and I know my settlement and all the people that live there, and all the people that live over here at Baldim, this dwarven settlement. So you can see the available bounties. You can see the historical events. Come back here if you're ever looking for someone, and you can also just search this by name or skill. So if I go to known beings and I search this by, like, weapon, looks like I don't know a weaponsmith yet, so I have to meet one. But these are the people that I do know. And let's push escape and close this out. And then we could talk about, in the bottom left, is the general dialogue combat log. You could see just dialogue by clicking dialogue tab to just get conversation, and then general puts everything in there, combat information and conversation as well. At least I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I'll verify that in a moment. And then in the bottom center, you're going to see our action bar, which is where we have our combat abilities, but also on top of that, we have buttons for the UI that we can use to go to crafting, map, inventory, skill book, the building screen for building a campfire, for example, the tutorial, which is we showed earlier by pushing J, R rests, but also very importantly, R waits for a turn. So in many roguelikes, you need to pass a turn. This is how you do it. You push R. You don't push spacebar, you push R. It also regains stamina at the cost of fatigue, if possible. But sometimes you have to do that in combat if you get tired, but the enemy will hit you while you're doing that. And then also you can sleep until the evening or morning, whatever it's closest to, and you can see the time in the center here where it says it's midday. So now let's talk about the center of the screen. Here's me right here, and I can hold shift over anything to get a tooltip description. This is a bear totem, for example. This is the water well. This is Jod of raging longevity. This is Vames of distinguished firmness. And you can see information about this person, and it tells you all about them. It tells you what they're wearing. It tells you what they're wielding. It tells you what they're doing. It tells you what their job is. It also tells you that underneath them, they're standing on frozen grass. That's the terrain type. This over here is Jod of fabulous determination, and these are red flowers on the frozen grass, and the game kind of operates like Stone Shard. It's a point and click to move. You can use WASD to move, but it's a little bit awkward because in this game you have facing. So you can see that my bear, there's kind of like a cone of vision that's illuminated in front of my character. My character is actually facing to the northeast, if north is the top of the monitor and east is to the right of the monitor. So that's why the dome of vision is spread this way. And if I push W, I actually walk in the direction that I'm facing. So W is forward, but it depends on where you're facing. If you want to turn, you can hold left alt and then left click to kind of spin around so you can see what's around you and see different people and stuff. You can right click on things in the world to get options. So if I right click on this person who is Len, you can still shift even if you have this window open to get more information about them. You can talk to them. This hand with the money means you can trade with them, and then there's attack with them, which it's forbidden in this settlement. Generally, you don't want to attack friendly NPCs, but you can do what you want. And you can go talk to them. Now, before I talk to them, I'm going to right-click to cancel that. I could just left-click to move as well, and that's the easiest way that I've found to move around. And we're going to walk up here to this well, and I'm going to right-click it. And at the well, you can clean yourself up if you're dirty or covered with blood. You can attack the well for unknown reasons. You can fill your container, or you can take a drink. Right now, what we're going to do is this bottom option, which is fill the container with a liquid. So I'm going to do this, and now you can see in the bottom left, it says, Tutorial Bear of Extraordinary Devotion fills the water skin with water 150 out of 150. And now up here in the upper left, I have 150 drink, which is awesome. Now, I'm going to this is going to have to be a tutorial series because this is a complicated game. There's a lot to talk about and cover. But what I'm going to do right now is just kind of go out and explore and maybe get into a little bit of a fight so you could see what that's like too. Just so you can help understand some more about the game right away, what you can do, and also see if this is the kind of game you want to play. So I'm going to right-click this guy, and I'm going to talk to him. This could be a lady, by the way. This is Break, and it's cold out here. We get used to that. And now you see how it says you've unlocked Break of Distinguished Firmness in the knowledge screen? I learned about this person, and now they're in my knowledge screen. They have no job. They're 18. They're an idle teenager. Now, down here in this box, you get these options in blue. You can ask for directions. You can ask where trainers are. You can trade goods, and you can just say goodbye. So you can trade if you have something to sell or buy. We don't have money. We don't have anything we want to trade. You can ask for trainers if you want to learn a new skill or develop a skill, but those are generally pretty expensive. And then you can ask for directions, which is what we're going to do. We're going to say, hey, where's directions? And this will tell you basically anything you're looking for in town. This person will know where it is. Most people you can ask for directions. And you can scroll down this entire list. And it tells you like who the person is and what they do. So are you looking for a weaponsmith? Are you looking for a miner? Are you looking for a tailor? You can look through here and be like, oh, here's the weaponsmith right here. And it tells you what Z level they're at. They're at our Z level, which is 0. And if I click on this, it says selected building is marked on your minimap in green in the center here. And if I close this dialog box, you could see that in the upper right of the minimap, there's like a red ping. That's where the weaponsmith is. And so all I have to do is just kind of click over that way and walk in that direction. And I'm getting closer. I'm just following the road. And I can go up here until we get to this area, and this is the weaponsmith right here. Iga, the weaponsmith, and Zizlos, they're both weaponsmiths. So this is where we'd go if we wanted a weapon, which we do, but we don't have the means to acquire it. So I'm going to quickly go out. We could go get stuff from our family, which is an important thing to do, but I want to just show you what it's like to be outside of the town and to get into combat and stuff in the first episode here. So I'm going to click this button, Leave Region. You can also push M to go to the map and just click Leave Region down here in the lower left as well if you want to leave. I'm just going to click this, and your character will just start walking to the edge. Now, the game is pretty good about this, but generally it will stop if there's a bad guy and won't let you auto-move like that so you don't just get killed by walking like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom way in on the map and click Position. And if I wanted to learn locations by talking to people, I could ask for directions in the settlement and go to the Hunters Guild and ask them about places nearby. And generally, the hunters or innkeepers know things about the area. So you could go to the inn, the Hunters Guild, and get information. At least I believe that's how it works. But I'm pretty sure that's right. And then otherwise, though, you do start knowing one place, which is here. It's this giant green question mark. Green means easy. So if I click on this, it'll tell me in the upper left, this is an unknown location. Its difficulty is easy. This is permadeath. We're starting out. We want to do easy. We do not want to do hard, troublesome. Anything more challenging than easy right now might be too much for us and kill us. So we're going to focus on easy. Now, in addition to like asking people if we have adventuring where locations are nearby, you can also uncover them just by walking around the minimap. So I'm going to click on this place, X marks the spot, and I'm just going to say move to region. And once I get there, I'm over top of it. I'm going to say enter region, and it will generate this area. And here I am. So now I'm in this region. It is after midnight, so you see I can't see. It's dark. So we could push C to try to craft a torch. However, I do not have any firewood, so I can't do that. So we're going to need to chop down a tree to get that in play. In the minimap, you see how due east, there's the question mark. That's telling you where the point of interest is on this screen. So you can just kind of walk that way. We're walking across the frozen grass here. We don't really see much. It's dark. If you don't like that it's dark, you can just click this button, sleep until morning. And we do that. And now we can see because it's the morning. Now, if there's a bad guy, they will interrupt our sleep, but there wasn't anything, so we could just keep walking. I notice my hunger and my hydration are going down, but it's okay because I got plenty of food and water, and I'll just eat and drink as I need it. You don't have to push anything. So I'm just going to keep walking. Boy, this is a wasteland. There's nothing. There's no trees. It's just this frozen tundra. There's also the occasional dead tree. Oh, we could chop this, though. Okay, so I'm going to right-click this dead tree. And you see how there's this cut wood action, the axe in the log, or the stump there. I'm just going to click on that. And we can't, because we don't have an axe. So we're going to need to get something that can do the wood cutting skill. So we can't get that right now, so we're just going to keep moving. Keep on walking. Now you can zoom out on this screen using the mouse wheel and like aim way far away if you want. And then you just kind of walk over here, cover a lot of ground really quickly. And we found it. Okay. So maybe the auto move does not stop when you see. Maybe I lied about that. I eventually stopped. So I now have found the location. It tells you, you found the cave. It's right here. It's now marked on the map as a cave icon. And here's a bad guy. The red border with the health bar indicates this is a bad guy. I can click on them to target them. I can hold shift over them to get more information. This is a white wolf, and it says it's attacking me. That's not good. So let's fight. So I can do what you normally would do in a roguelike, which is just left click or walk into the enemy to fight with a normal attack, or I can use my special abilities, which I will. I'm going to push 1 and use my slash. So it says right here, down in the bottom left in the combat log, Tutorial Bear hits the white wolf in the right leg with the copper short sword and deals 1 damage and 1 physical damage, which I believe was the bleed that we put on or we hit them with. And then, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I did 1 damage just by a regular attack by walking into it on accident. And then I did 4 damage with the slash that we just did right there. And he tried to hit me, but you see how it says parry 65%? White Wolf hits me, but I parried the attack because I have a shield and I have a sword and I could parry with both. So we took no damage. Our health is at full and the White Wolf is down to 45 out of 50. So now it's time. I'm going to use my shield wall. So if I mouse over shield wall, my third ability, stand your ground with your shield raised, reducing incoming damage by 5 for 3 turns. So this has a casting time of 0.20, which means I can actually do this and then still attack before they get to attack me because it's so fast. It does take 8 stamina and it has a 10-turn cooldown, but it's great for just making sure that I don't take a bunch of damage right here. And as you can see in the upper left, I got this little buff for shield wall right there. And I'm just going to hit this guy in the face then with my next ability, Shield Slam. I like to use all of my abilities that I can so that they are ready to be regained with cooldown. However, it is worth mentioning, look at my stamina. Look how low it is. Instead of just walking all the way over here, because I wanted to show you like how far you can move with 1 click, I should have approached more cautiously and then rested so that I had full stamina coming into this, because I'm going to have to rest during combat because I'm low on stamina. which you expend just by walking around. So I'm going to push 2 and bap that guy. Now, Shield Slam is hilarious because it knocks them back up to 5 tiles. Now, if there's a wall, they're not going to get knocked back, but this guy gets wrecked. He gets knocked super far away. Now, we got bit for 1 damage, but by what? Well, if I hold Alt and left click behind me, there is a wolf behind me. So I am surrounded by the enemies right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place myself strategically. I'm going to step up here, step up here. Oh God, there's a bear. Okay, I'm going to step over here. And then I'm going to face this way. So what I'm doing is what you really try to do as much as you can in a roguelike, which is locate a choke point so that you don't get surrounded. So at this choke point, we can fight through this diagonal right here, and I can limit it to 1 target in the game. Now, if the or 1 target in combat. If the AI is really savvy, another one might come up and flank me, and that's fine. I have to accept that. But I've minimized by at least 2 tiles the amount of enemies that can surround me and bought myself some time. So we're going to target this guy by left-clicking on him, and we're just going to push 1 to slash, and we hit this guy. And then I'm just going to kind of push W and just walk into him. Yep, the bear is coming around to flank us. I'm going to rest right now. I'm just going to push R. And you see I got a bunch of my stamina back up to 42, but I got this gray portion of fatigue. So my max stamina is now down to 97 because I'm getting a little tired. That's okay. I'm going to then, because what I wanted to do was basically rest before that bear was on me. So while I was resting for a turn, taking a turn off, catching my breath, I wasn't getting hit by 2 enemies, just the wolf. It looks hard. And, you know, in some games, this looks like it would be disaster. But I'm telling you, with our build, we are going to be okay, most probably, in this spot. And enemies have a good amount of hit points, and generally fights aren't over in like 1 or 2 rounds, especially when you're first level. But we have way more hit points than them and much more mitigation. So in the long run, we should be okay. I'm going to push 3 to open up my shield wall. And I'm just going to try to kill this wolf to eliminate a target. But what I could do is select the bear and just shield slam them away so that they're way over here, and now I can just fight one-on-one against the wolf for a few turns without the bear hitting me too. And I'll slash the wolf, hit 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 the wolf, and hit the wolf and kill it. And then now, I'm actually going to right click. I don't want, you can see how the left click is to scavenge right there. If you don't want to do that, which I don't want to scavenge right now, which is like butcher the corpse, I want to actually move to that square. I'm going to move. And then I'm going to do this because the bear was about to get on me too. And I don't want that much heat right now. So I'm just going to fight this guy. I'm going to use my shield ability. Every time it's up, I'm going to use shield wall to just help me weather this storm. And I'm going to slash this guy. And we're going to fight. And there might be an enemy there. That's a wall. Okay. I'm actually not liking how this is turning out. There's too many enemies that we're fighting at once. So I'm going to do something which might be surprising, but I'm going to try and run away. Now, they're going to get to hit me, but I don't like this combat. There's too many bad guys. I thought it was going to be okay, but it's going to take me a second to fight them off, and I don't know if I have a second. Let me see how many are following me. I'm just going to turn around. There's the bear and a wolf. Okay. If it's just these 3, I might be able to take this. So I'm going to put up my shield wall, and then I'm going to slash this guy, and I'm going to knock the bear. Oh, I don't have enough stamina. I have to rest. Now there's 4 now. Okay, so we got to run away. We could try to go up the mountain. I'm going to push M. Let me zoom out. I'm going to zoom way out until I can see the edge of the map. Oh, God. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Yeah. We're fine. I'm going to run over here. So, in my knowledge, enemies will pursue you forever until you get to the edge of the map. So, and you leave. I don't think that they're going to lose interest. Maybe they will. We're going to find out. I'm just going to run down this way. Now, I could try to rest until healed, but there's guys on me, so it's not going to be very effective to do that. So I'm just going to keep moving until I get to the edge. So you can see here's the edge, these arrows. So that is safety. So I'm going to turn around. And now, okay, some of the enemies did lose interest. So I'm going to actually push R to rest, push R to rest, and push R to rest again. And just get as much stamina as I can. And I'm going to step in here. And now let's see if we could fight a little bit. And if it goes badly, we run away. I'm going to use my shield wall. And I'm going to just slash this guy. And you hear that little ding? We got a +1 in sword fighting. Which means if I go to my skills and I click by pushing V and I click on sword fighting, you're going to see that I ended up getting Bushido, which is now available. It's just down here. And it says concentrate on the fight, increasing hit bonus by 20 and parry bonus by 20. And it is... takes 2 stamina, and it has so it's just amazing. Like, who doesn't want to get hit more and have parry bonus? So I'm going to use Bushido, and then I'm going to just hit this guy by left clicking. I'm going to shield bash this guy. This guy's actually almost dead, but now we're getting too many more enemies, unfortunately. So let's look. The bear hit me for 9 damage, which is far too much. I can't handle that. I can handle the bear one-on-one, but I can't probably handle it in this situation. So I'm going to step back. And step back. And you see how I'm walking backward, by the way? I'm looking this way, but I'm stepping backward. Which is good. I'm keeping them in view. I'm going to use my shield wall ability. And I could slash this guy. And then I'm going to hit this guy. And I'm going to use Bushido. Uh-oh. Deadly when angered. That's not good. So I'm going to slash this guy. Step back. I want to knock this bear away. So what I'm going to do is select the bear and then bap him away. And I'm just going to try to get a kill right here. Man, I couldn't get the kill on that guy. Alright, fine. Now you're dead. Okay. But we have the danger of being surrounded by 2 bears, which is awful. So I'm going to actually leave. I hate to do that. I hate to run. But as you could see, we were going to die. Now, this is permadeath, so we don't want to die, right? So I'm just going to click right back here and then move to the region. And look, we discovered another area, which is another tundra, and it's difficulty easy. So even easy can be hard depending on what's there, and that many bears is challenging. So we need to take a more strategic approach and find something that's a little easier for us. Now, by discovering that, if I push V, you'll notice that my adventuring leveled up because we found that point of interest. And I'm going to push map to go to the map. I'm actually going to click on the town and go inside. And by coming into the town and traveling, you could see that we are rested. All of our fatigue is gone. Our health is full. We did eat and drink. So that happened, but we're not dead. And we can walk over here and we can just drink to fill up this bar, force it to be filled, and then we can fill up our container. So now our canteen is full and we are alive. And that is wonderful. That's where we should be. So if you get to a region like that where, it's a little bit too hard, then just run away. And make sure you try to run before it's too late so you have enough health to do that. And we're going to explore some other areas in the next episode and try to just level ourselves up a little bit. We need armor. We need a better weapon. We don't have any of that stuff. But we're going to fight those feral bears and show them what a civilized bear is all about soon enough. Everyone, I hope you have found this episode of our Complete Beginner's Guide to Soulash 2 to be useful and fun. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a veteran player and you want to share tips and advice for new players, that would be fantastic. Just make sure to do so in a way that's beginner-friendly. And if you are a beginner yourself and you have questions, please post those in the comments below, and I'd love to help you out. Thanks again, everyone. I'll check you in the next episode. Take care.